Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BigDonSkillz once again bringing you another video. So today we are going to be talking about more underrated OSTs that you all should be listening to. So I did a video on this before that pretty much broke down like 5 of my favorite soundtracks of all time. And after I finished the video, I realized there's like a billion other videos and games that I left out. So today's just going to be 5 additional ones that I think everybody should check out if they haven't heard about it. Once again, you're gonna love this, so let's get straight into it. So the first game that's gonna be on this list is the one and only Megaman X4. So what I always liked about Megaman X4 was not only were the graphics really dope for its time, it just had a crazy soundtrack. I don't know what it was about it, it just had a bunch of synths. It all felt natural, all the themes really fit the characters that you were going against. So I mean, just even playing it in 2018 with the remaster that came out, it just felt like I was playing this game back in the 90s, you know. Great soundtrack, fun combat, strong difficulty too, man. It is not a game for the lighthearted, but once you actually figure out the patterns of the boss, like, you're pretty much good to go. It helps carry you through a lot of the game. So with this whole list, one thing we're going to be doing is displaying my recommended songs from each game. So some have 5, some have 4, some have more than 5. And so what I recommend for Megaman X4, if you haven't already, is the opening stage X, the Web Spider stage, Cyber Peacock stage, Magma Dragoon stage, and the Frost Walrus stage 1, which is playing right now, as well as part 2. It's really nice because it makes a transition once you go into different zones in this game. And that was another nice part of it. When you go from zone 1 to zone 2, there's a different song for pretty much every level. So once again, not only a great game, great soundtrack, and it just motivates me to play it even more. For our next game, we got the one and only Sonic Mania. So what's interesting about Sonic Mania is the fact that it's actually the newest game that's on this list. Even though it's technically a remix of the older Sonic games, I mean, new soundtracks, updated visuals, different levels, things like that. I mean, it's a pretty dope game. I mean, it has the same feeling as that classic Sonic experience, but not only that, it has the signature jazzy, just jazzy feel of like Sonic games from, you know, Sega Genesis days, and even as far to say any 2D Sonic game that wasn't too bad after some of the later 3D ones. But what I would say about this game is definitely an easy play. It's only 20 bucks, I think, maybe even less, with some recently added DLC to it that added some new characters. So my recommendation for this game is the main menu theme, the Oil Ocean Zone Act 2, Eggman Boss Theme 1, and the Stardust Speedway Zone 1, which is the song that's currently playing, and Zone 2, which is the song that's right after this level. So just like Megaman X4, this game has a transition when you go into different levels, you know. Except for Megaman X4 keeps it all in one level, Sonic Mania essentially has 2 separate levels, is the way to think about it. But yeah, definitely a great game. Recommend playing this if you're in the Sonic or you like just old school 2D games. I mean, it's really that simple. And let's slide on over to the next one. Alright, for this next one, we got the Persona series as a whole. Now, normally I like to separate things into its own individual games, but I think the debate between specifically Persona 3, 4, and 5 is a very open-ended one, and for that alone, I'll make my own separate video highlighting my favorites from each of those games. That being said, the Persona series as a whole just has so much good music that the ones that I'm going to list to you aren't even representative of the ones that are probably even my true favorites, because there's so many great songs from each and every game. What makes Persona also good is that everything matches with what's going on. Whatever the vibe the game's trying to put off, the songs are just great. And in a game where the music's actually insanely repetitive, it's actually a good thing. It's one of the only games that has a insanely repetitive soundtrack, but it works, you know. The music's so catchy, it doesn't even matter. So with that being said, my recommendations for the Persona series, I got 7 of them right here, and that's doesn't even touch all the songs that I would really throw in my next video. So I want y'all to hold me to that. So first one, we're going to start with Dream of a Butterfly, which comes from the actual first Persona game, which I had never played. Master of Tartarus, which is the song playing right now for Persona 3 when you fight the floor bosses. And the floor bosses are probably like the most ridiculous bosses. They're way harder than the actual big bosses. There's sub-bosses that are stronger than the main bosses. Next one, I'm probably going to butcher this, but Iwo Todai Dorm, which is the signature Dorm song. That's also from Persona 3. Next is I'll Face Myself, which is from Persona 4. Your Affection, which is also from Persona 4. Layer Cake, which is from Persona 5. And Woman, which is also from Persona 5. And I tried to include a little bit of everything, you know, from multiple games. Because, like I said before, it is so hard to say what my true favorite ones are. These are just a recommendation, just to give you a taste of the direction that each game is going for. Persona 3 has kind of like a hip-hop fusion vibe with it. 4 has a Tokyo pop feel, and 5 is very jazzy. So like I said, it's almost like 3 different genres for 3 different games. And with that being said, we're gonna move on to the next game. Now we're over here working with Street Fighter Third Strike. Now this is another game that I just grew up on. Between this and EX plus Alpha 3, I mean, I don't know which one I put more time into. Like, this game, it was just so different in comparison to the other Street Fighters. It had a different soundtrack, and I think this is when Capcom was really on their A game when it came to like content and music quality, because not only did Third Strike have an amazing soundtrack, the whole EX plus Alpha series had an amazing soundtrack. You know, eventually like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 would have an amazing soundtrack. There's just so many games that like Capcom had within this like late 90s to, you know, mid 2000s, I would say, where they were just killing everything, man. And this is no exception. I mean, just listen to the theme right now. It's the Killin' Moon Akuma theme. This is one of the hardest themes in all of Street Fighter. Like, this shit makes you just want to, like, I don't know, it makes you want to do something crazy, you know? So, that being said, here are the recommendations right now. We got the Ken and Alex's theme, which is the jazzy New York City. Easily one of my favorites, if not my favorite, next to the Killin' Moon. Akuma's theme, which is Killin' Moon, which I've been talking about already. Elena's theme, which is the Beats in My Head, which is just a really, really catchy tune. Ibuki's theme, which is Twilight, which is very similar to Killing Moon, but it's remixed in a way. And also the Sean and Oro's theme, which is called the Longshoreman. And then a bonus was from Street Fighter 3 Second Impact. As you all may know, Street Fighter goes through like 100 iterations for every version of their game, and like Third Strike wasn't any different. Third Strike was the last one of Street Fighter 3, but Second Impact came before. And Ken's theme, which was called Funky Bay, was a pretty badass one, so I had to throw that one in there as a little bonus for everybody, so make sure you check that out. Second Impact also had a great soundtrack, but I don't have as much knowledge, so I don't have much to say about it. And alright, y'all, I'm about to move on to the last one, and probably my personal favorite, so let's get into it. So we're saving the best for last, and now we got Tekken Tag Tournament. And this is the first one, not including the second one, which is a great game as well, but specifically Tekken Tag Tournament. I also want to say before I talk about this that Tekken 2 and Tekken 3 also had insanely good soundtracks. But I just put so much more time into Tekken Tag Tournament that I think it just kind of has like a special place, you know, in my heart. So next to Marvel vs. Capcom 2, easily my favorite and best fighting games of all time. What was so dope about this game was that not only did you have like every single character from the past few games, you had some new characters. You had the Tekken bowling mode, which was amazing. You had obviously dope music. You had the tag mechanics, so you can play with 2 of your favorite characters at the same time. You can do extra combos. The stage selection was great. Yo, this game was easily like a 10 out of 10 when it comes to fighting games. It had so much content. It was so ahead of its time. And that PS1 and PS2 had some great, that whole era of games was just ridiculous. Like, there was so much good stuff. And without further ado, man, this whole soundtrack is just fire, dude. Fire soundtrack. So just to start it off, we got the Bake/Horror Wrong theme. We got Law's theme. We have Eddie's theme. The Hayachi theme. The Xiao, I say Xiao, Exio, whatever you want to call it. The Xiao theme. And then the Yoshimitsu theme. There's even more good themes, like Ogre's theme is really good. The character selection screen is iconic, dude. Like, I just listen to the whole soundtrack. There's no bad soundtrack on this game. Even the outro after you beaten the game and it plays the characters like little extra cutscene, that was pretty epic too. Like, everything about this game is just on point, man. And it makes me even want to go back and play it. Just only if online existed back then. Once again, that brings a summary to more underrated game OSTs that everyone should listen to. Now, with that being said, you know, I want to do more videos like this. As you may see, I'm already working on an unpopular opinions panel for my YouTube channel, but also like more video suggestions. So if you want to see more game OSTs, as long as that Persona series, my favorite OSTs from the Persona series, that's all gonna come. So let me know how you all feel. You already know what to do. Like the video if you haven't already. I also stream on YouTube. Excuse me, stream on Twitch. So don't forget to follow me on Twitch and my other social medias, which will be down in the description section. Once again, I hope everybody enjoyed the video. I will see y'all on the next one. Deuces.